Okay, so imagine this. A single crypto token that's built to bridge the gap, between traditional finance and the kind of wild west of Web3. An asset that doesn't just give you discounts and rewards, but actually gives you a vote in its future. Well, that's the big promise behind Vision, or VSN. It's the new token from Bitpanda, one of Europe's biggest exchanges. So the question is, can it actually deliver? And that really brings us to the big question for today's explainer. Is Vision really going to be Europe's gateway to a regulated crypto world? Or is it, just another token with a lot of fancy ideas? We're going to break it all down for you. All right, so on the surface, the promises are pretty sweet. We're talking cheaper fees, rewards for staking, a real say in how things are run, and even first dibs on new projects. It sounds awesome on paper for sure, but what does all that actually mean for someone like you or me? Let's get into the nitty-gritty.
So to really get a handle on whether VSN can pull off these big, ambitious goals, we've got to rewind a bit. Let's go back to the beginning and see where this whole thing came from. Okay, so at its core, VSN is the main utility token for everything Bitpanda is trying to build in the Web3 space. It's not just something you trade back and forth. Nope, it's designed to be the engine for a whole bunch of different functions, and they've got their sights set on a global reach. And here's a really interesting thing. VSN wasn't just created out of thin air. It's actually the result of a pretty smart merger. They took two of their existing tokens, BEST, which was their loyalty token, and Pantos, which was all about getting different blockchains to talk to each other, and smashed them together. The whole idea was to create one single superpowered token that had a ton of uses right from day one.
All right, so that's the big picture, the origin story. But let's get down to brass tacks. What can you actually do with VSN? What's in it for you?
It really boils down to four main things. You've got staking to earn rewards, those nice fee discounts, actual votes and governance, and access to their launchpad for new projects. I think the key thing to remember here is that VSN is meant to be an active token. It's something you use, not just something you buy and forget about.
And just to give you a sense of the scale we're talking about, when they did that merger, they set the total supply at around 4.2 billion VSN tokens. That number is basically the foundation for the entire economic model of this thing.
So let's break down those rewards. If you're a holder, you can earn a staking APY of up to around 10%. That's pretty solid. The fee discounts can slash your costs by up to 20%. And on top of that, there's this loyalty system with experience points, or XP, which could unlock other perks down the line, like airdrops. These are the real, tangible financial reasons to get involved and be active.
Okay, so that's where VSN is at right now. But you know how it is in crypto. It moves at lightning speed. What really matters is what's coming next. So let's take a peek at their roadmap for 2026, because this could honestly be a make or break year for the whole project. You can see a clear strategy unfolding on their 2026 roadmap. They kicked off the year with a big push for more users and trading activity. Then they handed over some power to the community with the first governance vote, but the real headline grabber, the main event, is the planned launch of Vision Chain. This is a Layer 2 network, which, if you're not familiar, is just a fancy way of saying it's a secondary framework built on top of an existing blockchain to make things way faster and cheaper. And the endgame here? Using this new chain to tokenize real-world assets. If they pull that off, it could be an absolute game changer.
But hey, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Let's be real. Every single crypto project out there faces huge risks and fierce competition, and VSN is no different. So it's time for a necessary reality check. Let's look at the hurdles it's got to clear.
So what really sets Vision apart from all the other exchange tokens out there? Well, while most of them are laser-focused on their own little walled gardens, Vision is looking outward. Its secret weapon, if you will, is its focus on regulation, specifically complying with MiCA. That's the EU's big new rulebook for crypto. By building an ecosystem that's compliant, that works across different chains, and that's built for tokenizing real-world assets, well, Vision is basically rolling out the red carpet for the big institutional players, the ones who've been too nervous to jump into the crypto pools so far. But we've got to be honest about the risks, too. First off, price volatility. That's a big one. VSN has traded way, way below its old highs. Second, it's not exactly simple. Some users have found the reward system to be a bit complex, a bit of a learning curve. And last but not least, its usefulness right now is completely tied to how well the Bitpanda platform itself does. It's totally dependent on it. So when you weigh the good against the bad, the strengths and the weaknesses, what does the future actually hold for VSN? Well, let's play out three possible scenarios. Okay, first, the bullish scenario.
This is where Vision Chain is a massive success. It attracts those big institutional players, and demand for VSN skyrockets to tokenize real-world assets. Then you have the neutral scenario. Here, VSN stays a solid, useful token, but it never really breaks out of the Bitpanda ecosystem. And finally, the bearish outcome. The project just fails to get traction beyond its current fans, and activity starts to fizzle out. Which path it takes? It all probably comes down to how well they execute on that 2026 roadmap. And really, this all brings us right back to their core mission. This quote you see here, it just perfectly captures the sheer ambition behind this project. It's so clear they're not just trying to be another exchange token. The goal is way, way bigger than that.
So, this all leaves us with one final, and I think really crucial question. Let's say Vision pulls it off. Let's say it becomes the regulated, compliant token for Web3 in Europe. Will that actually be enough to bring traditional finance to the table? Or, despite all its ambition, will it just end up being a useful but kind of niche tool for the people already in crypto? Honestly, that is the billion-dollar question for Vision's future.